Hey, good morning, guys. We wanted to kick off the formal program for this morning as you're enjoying breakfast, so please do continue to eat. And I know many of you have been looking up at the pictures scrolling above us, which are also around campus. I hope you take some time to enjoy these. I know that even visitors on campus appreciate seeing the boy that you were when you first got here and the young man that you've become at this point. And it's pretty remarkable to think of the growth that you have experienced over the course of your time here. I was recently at a conference about a month ago, and one of the attendees of the conference is currently a faculty member at a school. And he and I remember each other very well because he was a senior at Woodbury Forest in my very first year as a teacher on that campus. And he can remember things about my first year as a teacher that I cannot remember about my own first year as a teacher. I share that story because I know that I will forever remember you as my first senior class at MBA. And I will carry that bond with us for many, many years to come whenever I'm on the road visiting you as an alumnus in your hometown, hearing about your family and your own life, wherever that journey may take you. 100 days until graduation is an amazing mark. 100 days is going to fly by. It's just several months from now when you'll be walking across the stage and gathering your diploma before you head off. So we wanted to take this moment to do two things: to celebrate you and all that you've accomplished, but also to look ahead at the remaining time that we have together and just consider how we're going to spend that time together. The first is that I will remember you as a group that has a deep care for the school and also goes about your day with determination and effort. I've seen highs and lows this year at school, and you all always have your heads up. You've done a fantastic job of being the standard bearers at the school and modeling for the younger guys how to give your very best effort, even when you feel like it may not result in something. That's a wonderful thing to display to your peers, and I hope that you'll continue it. As you are about to head off to school, to college, and leave MBA, where you've been for anywhere from a year to 6 years, and you prepare to leave home, it begs questions for you of what to do with these relationships that you've formed. It's hard to move from the normal day-to-day routine of school to the freedom of college. And you likely already feel like, the rules of school are kind of annoying. I'm ready to be done with them. I'm finished. I'm feeling like a college-age guy. Let me move on. I ask that you hold on for a few more months and turn your attention to all of the people who have given to you in your time here, and find ways to express your gratitude and your appreciation to them in small gestures and in large gestures. And as you are at home navigating life as you're about to leave, maybe you're the first one to leave, maybe you're the last one to go, but your family is also going through its own process of considering your absence in the years ahead. So take time to find those moments where it's just you and your family that you can cherish. Maybe perhaps don't run out on that one night when you could hang out with them a little bit longer, since in just a few months you're not going to be there any of the nights. So find ways to give your appreciation and your gratitude to them. I'm excited about the months ahead. I hope that we have fun together in that time and that we balance that with appropriate dedication and seriousness to all of your obligations that you have here and now, right up to the finish line. David, come on up.
Good morning, class of 2024, and thank you to Mr. Sawyer for asking me to speak this morning. As we here this morning with 100 days till graduation, As we hear it's just 100 days until graduation, it is surreal to think that we have just over 3 months left on the Hill until we transition into the next chapter of our lives. My time at MBA has flown by, and it is hard to believe that it was nearly 6 years ago that we first came into this room for the pinning ceremony with our big brothers. MBA is unique in the bonds that form within each class over their 6 years on the Hill, whether it is staying up late, writing themes, memorizing poems, or suffering with their teammates in practice, all of which were not enjoyable at the time, but looking back were fulfilling tasks that brought the student body closer together. For me, the most significant of these experiences was my time on the crew team as a freshman, especially at the national championship in Philadelphia. Joining the team as a freshman was daunting, especially with leaders like Will Coulthard or the dominant junior class. However, my time on the team proved that although these leaders were at times extremely competitive or intense, they still took care of and looked after the members on the team, both off the water and in school. That season culminated in May, when our lightweight 8 traveled to Philadelphia for the Scholastic Nationals. Although I was close with many of the upperclassmen through the sport, I was worried that being the only freshman with a handful of juniors and a lot of seniors would result in some sort of alienation from the team. But this could not have been further from the truth, as I grew extremely close with many of the boys at that regatta. Even despite my mistake, which likely caused our boat a silver to LaSalle, I received no criticism from the other guys on the team, only encouragement as we celebrated the unprecedented achievement of the program. That trip remains my favorite and most memorable regatta to this day due to the relationships and bonds I formed with many of my teammates on the trip. Looking at my classmates as well as the freshmen on the team today, I can confidently say that we have continued that culture on the team and the school as a whole. This year, I've observed me and my teammates form relationships with underclassmen in both swimming and rowing, mirroring those of my freshman year. This brotherhood is what makes MBA a special place, and I encourage you all to enjoy and utilize the limited time we have left on the Hill before graduation. Thank you, and roll red.
Good morning, and thank you to Mr. Sawyer for the opportunity to speak. MBA has meant a number of different things to me throughout my almost 19 years in Nashville. As a young child, I remember bits and pieces of my now 32-year-old brother's experience with the school. As those of you with older siblings might be able to relate to, I thought of my brother as a god. And so initially, MBA meant true excellence to me. As he went to college, I began my career as a student at Harding Academy. My association with MBA shifted slightly. I was now face-to-face with MBA, on the field and in the pool, and they were simply better than the team I was a part of. This made my choice easy when I was deciding where I wanted to go for high school. However, like the rest of you, I spent my 8th grade summer guessing as to whether or not I was going to be learning through a screen or in person. My first 6 months as a gentleman scholar and athlete were spent adapting to the customs and seemingly harsh regime of the Hill, but I quickly realized how special the community I had joined really is. Before I get into that, I have to admit that MBA has truly shown me the definition of tough love, because looking back, I cannot say I was happy to be a member of the Big Red Nation on nights when I had to stay home and do homework or study instead of going to the Preds game, or when people from other schools would be dumbfounded at the concept of a theme. I really questioned my decisions with where I went to high school. However, looking back, I cannot express how truly grateful I am for the hard work and long hours MBA has forced me to put in. The thing is, MBA has done the same for all of us. No matter who you are or how hard you've tried, MBA has required a standard of each and every one of us that has allowed our success with college. Wherever you're going to school next year has been greatly enhanced by the skills we have learned at MBA and the resources going here has given us. I'm personally starting to believe that senior sliding is a myth because nothing really seems to have changed in any of my classes, and the first semester was the most brutal period of school I've ever done. But when I received my first acceptance into a college, it made all of my efforts worthwhile. We have 100 days left until our home is no longer Montgomery Bell Academy, and I have to admit that when I graduate, I'm going to be exceptionally relieved. But if I've learned one thing during my time here, it is that when I look back on all of the things I've done, the achievement and sense of accomplishment I feel when I do good work entirely outweighs the grind and discipline it takes to complete said work. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't going to enjoy my final months as a high school student more than I have previously, but I'm going to try my best to finish this year with dignity so that when I look back years from now, I can be assured that I made the most of the opportunities I was given. I want to know that as I look to the rest of my life, I can continue to maintain a balance of working hard and playing just as much. So this is the perfect proving ground. College is scary for me because I know that I'm going to be able to do whatever I want to, but I know that if I do not take it seriously, I will not be able to achieve what I want to in life. So I'll leave you all with this. It's not up to anyone else how you finish your senior year, whether you take advantage of the security of going to college and let school take a back seat, or you grind the next 100 days to make sure you're exempt from your exams, does not affect me or anyone else. All I know is that history has a pattern of repeating itself, and ensuring these memories are good is going to come at the cost of putting a little bit of work in alongside all of my fun for the time being. Thank you.
Thank you to David and William and Fielding and Max for your words. That was very nice. I thought it was especially appropriate as Max was talking. Did you guys see his own picture up there behind him? And his freshman year picture with this big swoosh of blonde hair on the front. And that was nice to see. I also want to commend Max because he's had an injury. I don't know if you could tell. He physically had a tough time getting up here and speaking. And he wanted so much to do it that he sort of begged me for the opportunity to do it, even this morning, because he's not feeling well at all. And so thanks to all of you, and especially to you, Max, for making it a priority to be here. Let's see. There we go. So I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you guys about the end of the year, and thought you might appreciate, of course, this is a picture from your first day of the year. And so I wanted to take a few minutes, and if you'll just kind of give your attention to the podium up here, I was going to tell you about a few upcoming important dates for the remainder of this spring. So first of all, we've got the Father-Son Dinner coming up on March 5th. Several of you will speak at that, and we'll look forward to you doing a great job. The next day is Career Day. That's a fun day for seniors. I want to make sure that we're on our best behavior. We'll have several alums and people from the community in town to talk to you about potential careers. April 6th is, of course, prom. That's a big day as well. I want to remind everybody to let's be on our best behavior for prom, have a great time. We will have a dinner in here for the seniors before prom as a group for you and your dates, and then we'll have the prom presentation. The Mother-Son Dinner is April 10th, and again, several of you will speak at that. April 16th is a 50 Days to Graduation picnic. So that will be a similar event to this one, except it'll be a picnic in the evenings and your parents will be invited. And it'll be another way for us to remember that we're getting closer to graduation, also with your families. May the 1st is College T-shirt Days. We think that almost all of you will have your college decisions made by then. So between now and then, be picking out a good T-shirt that you like. We always like to get a good class picture of all of you in your college T-shirts together. So that'll be May the 1st. May 6th to May 17th, those are AP exams, so you'll kind of see when they are coming. May 15th is the Leavers Dinner. That is a borrowed tradition from England, from the English school system, and it's sort of a graduation type of feel. It's a dinner for the members of your class and a few other faculty members, and a really fun event that everyone will come to on May 15th. Exams begin on May 17th. It is worth reminding you the exemption policy for exams, which is an 85 average on the last day of your classes, with your teacher's recommendation and in good disciplinary standing. So that's the exemption policy for exams. We'll have a senior movie day as well. This is a day when a member of the MBA community opens up his movie theater to the seniors and has kind of a private screening of a movie for just you. It will likely be on Friday, either May 17th or May 24th, and we're working out those details now. Couple other things about graduation week. So Tuesday, May 28th, that's the Tuesday of graduation week. We'll have a graduation rehearsal at 11 a.m. And then right after that at noon, there'll be a lunch for you and your moms, a mother-son senior lunch. Wednesday, May 30th is honors night. You've been to that several years, you know about that. And then Thursday, May 31st is graduation. So we'll ask you all to arrive at 5:45. We'll get everyone ready, and then we'll proceed out to the graduation. And then the final thing that you will do kind of officially as an MBA student together will be the project graduation. You've gotten several emails about that, and I want to encourage everyone to sign up. It is a really fun, nice, and memorable last event for you as a class. And that'll be the evening after graduation, starting at 10:30 p.m. So, reflecting on the idea of 100 days to graduation. We are exactly 100 days from graduation today. So May 31st is your graduation date. To help you put that in perspective, November 12th was 101 days ago. That was Diwali. November 13th was exactly 100 days ago. That was the day that Dr. Po Shin Lo discussed ChatGPT in MBA's assembly. You probably remember that. That was exactly 100 days ago today. You had a class meeting last week. The last class meeting you had before that one was 98 days ago. 103 days ago was the state cross-country meet. And perhaps the most memorable one to help you frame this time on a timeline is that 103 days ago, the varsity football team defeated Innsworth in overtime. So I remind you of that to remind you that doesn't seem that long ago. And yet we are closer on a timeline to graduation than we are to that very memorable event. And so all of that goes In the words of Ferris Bueller, to say that life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. You've got 100 days left to graduation, guys. I want to leave you with a quick thought and quick reminder about how I want to encourage you to use those 100 days. When I was your age or a young man, I remember frequently hearing the phrase, leave it better than you found it. Sometimes that would be told to us as we had to clean up a campsite after a Boy Scout camping trip, or maybe clean up a locker room after a football game. Leave it better than you found it. You've probably heard some similar advice yourself. I want to remind you guys to take that same advice and apply it to your remaining 100 days at MBA. You came to MBA because it's a great school with a great reputation. I want to encourage you to leave it a better school than you found it. And you can do that in a number of ways. Of course, you want to pursue excellence in your own activities, in your athletics, your academics, your extracurriculars, but also in the way that you support each other in these final 100 days. Perhaps it's coming to the hockey game tonight to support your classmates, or coming to the play this weekend to support your classmates. Perhaps it's reaching out to your little brother to make a few final memories with him. In many ways, he is your legacy at MBA after you leave. I want to encourage you to think about and be thoughtful about the choices you make on the weekends, over spring break, at prom, and other important events. Those will affect both individually and collectively the legacy of this class. And I want to encourage you to make the most of them and to be thoughtful about your choices. And finally, I want to remind you that the eyes of campus are on you. All of the underclassmen are looking to you to set an example. And as Dr. Daughtry mentioned, there may be times in your final 100 days at MBA where you feel ready to leave. You feel ready to move on after MBA. And that's appropriate. But we also want to remind you that the eyes of everyone at MBA are on you. Please continue to set a good example, to do a great job as you have been doing. In 100 days, your name will be on the wall of this building, of this room, along with all of the other MBA graduates. Between now and then, let's do a great job to make sure you're proud of what you've done at MBA, and then when you come back to see your name on that wall, you're proud of what you did in these final 100 days. Thank you.
When Mr. Sawyer asked me to speak at this breakfast, I initially couldn't think of really anything to say, and so I started thinking about which things I'll remember most from this amazing place, and three main things stuck out to me: student sections, Saturday schools, and the time we spent together during breaks and lunches. I had the privilege of being one of the student section leaders this past fall, and it was, I would say, one of the most fun experiences of my life. It was awesome just to look up and see the stands packed with everyone painted up and going crazy. In case you were wondering, this is not normal. We're the best student sections in the country. During one of the basketball games this year, I was standing next to Milt Chapman. If you don't know who he is, he's new this year. He's the really tall, skinny one. But anyways, he said, and I quote, "I've never seen student sections like this in my life." He moved from Memphis and had no category for the level of school spirit we have here. This goes to show how great our student sections are at every single sport, and I feel like sometimes we take these for granted. It doesn't matter whether it's a Friday night football game, late night hockey game at the Sportsplex, or the Carter Invitational Tennis Tournament in the spring. MBA students are always supporting each other. This unwavering support really speaks to the strong relationships we've built here over the years and how much we want to show support for one another, which is really cool to see. The bonds we have formed here over the past 6 years are so strong, and I encourage y'all to keep strengthening these bonds until and through graduation. Now onto Demerit Hall. This is a little bit of a sore subject for me because I've spent way too many Saturday mornings at this school for some really dumb stuff that I've done. But oddly enough, when I look back at all the Saturday mornings I've spent here, it brings back some happy memories. This could be due to the fact that almost every time I go to Waffle House right after with whoever is suffering with me that morning. But I also have had some cool bonding during Demerit Hall. When walking around picking up trash on a cold morning, I've had some really deep conversations with guys I may not have talked to before. And even though I hate waking up early and sometimes we get punished for seemingly harmless things, it shows how MBA is working to make us better men by the end of our time at this school. It is the first priority of all the faculty here, and I've witnessed firsthand how the school community has shaped us into better people. The last and probably most important thing that I will remember is the time we've spent during breaks and lunches. The best memories aren't going to be the most effective way to find the area between two weird-looking curves or what kind of legislature Nigeria has. The best memories happen when we just get to spend time together. Therefore, break and lunch are our most cherished times of the day. Whether we are all trying to figure out how to get the computer science principles homework done in time, or all laughing as Mustard pours a whole bottle of water on Beamer, we have already and continue to grow closer together. These times produce the best memories that we will keep for a lifetime. And I believe that these times are what make MBA the special place that it is. The friendships we form here are unmatched anywhere else and will last for a lifetime. Looking back, it is going to be hard to leave such a great place and even harder to leave such great people, but we still have 100 days left. I encourage everyone here to make a concerted effort to branch out during our last months on the Hill. Whether it's engaging in a new service opportunity or just sitting with some new people at lunch, I think it will be great for everyone to get out of their comfort zone a little. So, with that being said, let's use these last 100 days wisely, soak up every minute, and leave with no regrets. Thank you.
Anyway, so I just wanted to tell a story, and especially what happened this morning. It might be, extra relevant, but some of y'all that went on the World War II Wilson Grant trip with me would know about my passport. So one day we went to a fish and chips restaurant to eat dinner, and in London you just have to eat fish and chips. So we're all having a good time, having some good fish and chips, and I brought my backpack with me to bring water and whatnot. And I put it in between my legs underneath the table, so I'd remember to take it with me. And I got up and left, and I did not have my backpack. And I got home that night, and I realized, I don't have my backpack. Now I don't feel like going back and getting it. I'm tired. I'll just, forget about my backpack in London. It was no big deal. Then the next morning, I woke up, and I was just looking through my bag, and I realized I did not have my passport. And I was like, okay, maybe it's just, in a pair of pants. And I checked all my pairs of pants, and it wasn't there. And I realized that my backpack was still my passport was still in that backpack that I took to the airport. And I was going to have to find a way and get it because that's kind of important. So I decided that we have free time, so I'll swing back during my free time and I'll just grab my passport, and nobody will have to find out about this. Then I forgot to do that. It's a common theme. So the day afterwards, I tell Mr. Paliki, this is 2 days after I lost my passport, and we don't even have any idea whether or not it's still there. And he was understandably very angry about that. So I lost my free time for that day, and I went and got my passport with Mr. Paliki. So y'all might be wondering while I'm telling you this story, and yeah, it's funny, and yeah, it's, kind of get to laugh at ourselves sometimes, but we have to keep track of the things that matter. We only have 100 days left here at MBA, and this is the last 100 days we're gonna get at this school. It's not like we can come back and be seniors again. And it sounds cliche and all, but it's true. Like, we have to keep track of this time that we have left because there's just no way to get it back. Sure, it'll be a hassle to get my passport back, but I can get my passport back, but I can't get my time at MBA back. And it reminds me of some times where I talk to my dad, and he tells me about, how he grew up in Nigeria and how he came to the US, and how sometimes he'd only have one shot to get something right. And he knew that when he had that one shot, he had to put everything in it so that he wouldn't miss. Because if he misses, he's never getting that opportunity again. And he could end up, just living his life farming in a country where his dream is to be in the United States. And it kind of stuck with me knowing that when you have that shot, you have to take it. And you have to put everything in that shot so you know that you don't miss that shot. So I'm just here to tell y'all, I know it is easier said than done, but make sure that you keep track of the time you have left at MBA. Put everything you have in this last shot. If there's anything you want to do that you haven't done, make sure you do it. Because this is the last time you're going to get to be able to take that shot. So thanks for letting me come up here and speak with y'all today. Thank you.
Okay, I'm the last speaker today, so you guys have been a great audience sitting there and paying attention. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mr. Perry, and I sort of want to echo Dr. Daughtry a little bit because you guys are going to be, you're really special to me because when I started here, you guys were sophomores, and I taught U.S. history, and I had many of you in class. And so in many ways, you all were sort of the first class that I was connected to, and I have the opportunity to teach many of you this year as well, and some of you got the unfortunate assignment to have me twice, so thank you for putting up with me. But so I'm always going to remember this class of 2024 and how you guys have received me, and also, of course, Jack, who's part of this class. So it's always going to be a special group for me. I started teaching in 1996. And most of my time, I was thinking about this week, probably most of the time that I've spent as a teacher and coach, I've spent specifically with seniors. I really love working with seniors and just this transition that you're going through, where you are in life. I've had three of my oldest children have gone through this process and transition and now are in college or beyond. So I've seen it in my home as well. Two things I want to say about that. Number one, you really cannot say enough what a big deal it is that you're about to graduate. It is a big deal in terms of this transition that you're going through. Dare I say, your life perhaps is going to change more radically during this moment than at any time in your life, maybe next to getting married and having children, because you are leaving home, you're going to a different place, and all those things are sort of obvious and almost cliche, but it really is a big deal. The second thing I want to mention to you is, if you're sitting in this room, whether you're a faculty member like me or a student, you are incredibly blessed. Incredibly blessed. I think you understand that. I'm guessing you understand that, but I think it's not, it bears repeating again. You're an incredibly blessed person. So I want you to think for a second about all of the people that have poured into you. Family members, friends, maybe leaders from your church, wherever your place of faith, people in this school. Think about all the people that have poured into you. That's an awkward silence, because I want you to think about it. And if you haven't thought about it, what a great thing you can do for these next 100 days to think about it. The one word I want to leave you with today is generosity. Once again, if you're sitting in this room today, you're incredibly blessed, and there's been a lot of people who have been generous towards you. So how can you be generous to other people? Okay, people are what matter in life. Okay, of all the great things that you might have going for you, the most important, I hate to even use the word things, are the people who are in your life. So how can you be generous with them? With your time, with your words, with your kindness, encouragement, listening. I heard a great phrase several years ago. It's very simple, but the phrase is, love listens. The way you demonstrate your love for people is how you listen to them. So how can you be generous with the people around you? You all probably have much more influence on the people in this room, the people on this campus, than I do. That's the kind of influence that you have. So I want to encourage you with these last 100 days, and certainly beyond, to be generous people. The image, I think, that goes with that is the hand, right? So you can either be tight-fisted, which is sort of the image of being stingy, perhaps selfish, of withholding, closed off, or you can be open-handed with one another, that you're willing to give, that you're willing to receive from one another. So I want to encourage you as people, once again, and I'm in this boat as well, as people who are incredibly blessed, to be generous human beings, to be willing to give of yourselves, to pour into not just this community, but all the communities you're a part of. I hear a lot about the brotherhood and even some of the things that have been shared today. But the brotherhood is not special just because you guys all show up and you're sort of in the room together or you're on this campus together every day. The brotherhood is special because you pour into one another. You're generous with one another. You care for each other. You show up at those games. You show up when somebody's hurting. You see the seventh grader who might be lost or might be struggling or might not fit in, and you encourage them and you care for them. So I want to leave you once again with the word to be generous and to be open-handed. It's an honor to be here this morning. I look forward to watching you be generous with one another and the people around you for these last 100 days and then beyond, and when you come back to this campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. Now we'll hear a final song from several of our seniors.